Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks DIY Garage.
So hopefully there's enough sun out here that you can kind of see this. This was I think one of my first rattle can paint jobs I did, which as you can see did not turn out great. But I still haven't wet sanded or buffed or did anything. Really, this one wasn't even, I picked out a black paint and that's all I did. But mainly I did it because there was a huge spot in this area that was all bubbling up and corroded. This is, I believe, an aluminum or magnesium, I don't know, some sort of hood. It's not metal or not. It's not a ferrous metal, we'll put it that way. Anyway, so that is holding up great. No bubbling, no nothing. The paint is actually sticking fine. It's laid down fine. It just kind of has the hot rod black look. And it was all the way from here all the way across this whole edge, and as you can see, it looks fine. Yet again, I only did this one to show people this is better than nothing at all. It at least has kept it for a few years now. If I can find it, I'll put the amount of years below, but it's kept it well. Now on the other hand, we have the Jeep here. Now this is just how it is. I haven't bothered washing these or making them look great, but as you can see, hopefully up in here, this is still looking pretty good. There's some dirt and grime down here. You can see where the dirt and stuff builds up in here. That's where kind of a lot of the rust was. Still looks good underneath and around that right there. And I honestly can't even see this, so hopefully you're getting it. Here is where it was. Well, it's kind of shaded here now. You can see there's some sun on here. The tree's just shading it, but there's no rust. We're all good right here. About the worst part of it is I do see a little bit of maybe something tingling here a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll keep an eye on it. But you know, somebody got up here, you'd never know there was a fix in here, that there was rust here at some point. It's still solid. And right here, we'll try and get in the sun. You can definitely see a line where I taped it off and didn't blend it. But yet again, like I said in that, I was not going to go all the way. But I am actually pleasantly surprised with how well this is held up and how well the color really does blend, especially if you try and blend it. I think for a rattle can paint job, this went better than I hoped actually. So there you go. Yet again, I'm not sure how long later this has been. It's been quite a while. It's been through wind, rain, storm, probably close to a year if not more, but I will put it below. And here's, I think, one of the last, or one of the first ones I did. And as you can see, the black is very noticeable now where I shot it. That actually held up for quite a while. Mainly I was trying to cover this up right here, this yellow. It was all over this. It just was where this stuff would peeled off and turned yellow. Most of it, I think that's the worst spot right there. Now most of the rest of it has done an okay job of at least not letting the yellow come back. Also the rust on all these is holding back somewhat. They're getting a little rusty now. So that was another reason why I shot that, whatever it was on there. I don't even remember what it was, but it held up okay. It's mostly still not yellow, except for where I've probably ran into trees or through trees and scraped it off like I probably did the first time. So anyhow, there you go. Now you know. Rattle can paint jobs can work okay, but they're never gonna be as quality as a regular automotive paint. Right here, my Mustang used to all be this blue color like that's on the door here, and When I've ground on things and things like that, or did some work on something, I go back with a rattle can. Now, a lot of people use epoxy primer. That's pretty okay as far as holding back moisture, but it's not great. I personally believe that rattle can paint actually works better at holding moisture and rust and stuff back as far as that's concerned. You can see where this, actually I had some primer, unfortunately, that I did put on the fender and the hood, and both those two things have a little bit of rust kind of starting to pop through. So and where I did the welding on this across here, you can't really see it, and I actually rattle canned it a blue color. You know, there's no rust coming through. I didn't finish grinding it. I just kind of cleaned it up, ground it down somewhat, and shot some paint over it until I was ready to work on it again. And that's probably been there for 10 years at least, and I haven't had any problems. It has been indoors though, so there you go. Now you know.
So in the end, I don't know what anybody's got out of this. I hope to show that you can use whatever you got in your garage with a little bit of sanding and grinding and working, elbow grease, and a cheap rattle can of whatever. You can stop corrosion like I did on my daughter's car or on the Jeep. That one's probably as close to professional type body and paint work as you're gonna get with a rattle can. Minus maybe the next step up would be to be buying those 2K rattle can paints. But quite honestly, by the time you buy those, you can almost go out and have paint mixed and get, you know, a pint or even a quart of paint if you have spray equipment. Admittedly, if you don't have the spray equipment, it really doesn't work. But if you have spray guns, which you can get a $9.99 Harbor Freight gun, you could buy a quart or probably a pint of paint if they still sell it that way. They used to when I was younger and doing this stuff, but I don't know if they do anymore. A pint of paint that's matched directly to that car, and you'd need a primer. I'm not sure what the smallest amount of primers you could get, but honestly, I would use like a 2K rattle can primer maybe, and then put that over the top. That would be the longest lasting paint job for us, you know. And yet again, that's a base coat, clear coat paint that's on that car originally. I took and basically put a base coat, clear coat on there, but it wasn't 2K, or used hardener, which is what a 2K is. And then the truck, I was just trying to, you know, get rid of the yellow and make it look better. Yet again, cheap rattle can, sprayed it on there. It looked good for a little while. I was happy. It still looks better than it did before, even years later. So, and then you got the Mustang right here, just to keep the rust down yet again and to protect it some, using it that way. So honestly, rattle can paint jobs aren't going to last near as long as regular 2K type paints or professional body paints. I will never ever say that. They're just not going to. But that Jeep so far has lasted quite a while. So down the road I'll probably have some more videos on that. And when or if I still have the car and it has problems or starts peeling or the sun starts beating it down so much that there's a problem, I'll come back and give you some more updates on it. Yet again, there's where I say, if you want to watch any of those videos, whether it be my truck, my Jeep, my daughter's Buick Rendezvous, even the Mustang here, I have other vehicles as well, and motorcycles, go check out my channel, and all of them have a playlist. If you go to my playlist on my channel, the playlist page, and it has all my different playlists of all my different vehicles, as well as homeowner DIY type stuff that I do. Hopefully you've enjoyed this and got something out of this. Thanks for watching Junkworks DIY Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.